Speaking of work groups, obviously, as Meow was saying, there's going to be some changes to the process. How are you guys thinking about the new working group process?
If you look at the current work group system, it relies very heavily on windows of opportunity, and it's very all or nothing in regards to the trial system. I think we learned a significant amount from the three trials, which is why I'm very glad that we decided to do them first, and we realized a lot of learnings along the way. One of which is that the ask for community members who want to participate is very high. The only size of commitment level that is allotted to them is an intensive 3 to 6 months or nothing, pretty much at this stage. Also, we don't really know the value or success potential of the things they aim to build. We also don't know, are they a good fit? More importantly, do they feel they're a good fit for the process, which can be much more involved and unexpected, as it usually includes more than the work in of itself.
The biggest thing that we sort of experienced was that we were essentially asking people to go from 0 to 2, and we skipped one. And I think one is like, what is the public work that these crews want to do, these people want to do? And can there be sort of a lower barrier to entry where they can still get paid for it, but they don't necessarily have to commit to, 3 to 6 months of doing that idea specifically. So what that kind of led everybody into doing was like making a research proposal for something that they wanted to do, and then just kind of sitting there and being like, well, now what? And I think that led to some people being unhappy and other people being frustrated and whatnot. And then there was, a few work groups that went through the process with a really broad scope because of that, because they're like, well, we better come up with 3 to 6 months worth of work to propose to the DAO so that they're, willing to vote for this. So I think the most important thing in this is just sort of lowering that barrier to entry and giving people a step one. And we've sort of modeled all of this off of the concept of an MMO. We like to call this sort of the evolution system, right? Like how do you level up within the DAO? How do you enter the DAO?
We created a proposal over the course of several weeks, and its goal is to do two things. One is to provide some additional clarity, guidance, and windows of opportunity to people. And two is to create a system that allows for more rapid experimentation cycles and to allow people to participate with smaller commitments first.
Very nice. Yeah, I think that there's a bunch of great proposals, and I think one of the real invisible dangers for a community where you're trying to activate the talent force is like the opportunity cost or the lost talent that it didn't end up actually contributing the value that they maybe could have due to like whatever slow processes or feeling overlooked or whatever else it might be. Because there's a bunch of great cadets who've done a bunch of great proposals that we've seen. I'm excited to see those get off the ground now with this new system.
How do you actually allow all these like people to actually do things in a way that is like much less intense, right? That can get them off the ground before we put them for a vote, right? I personally am hopeful that this proposal will allow us to fund a lot more, right? Smaller groups in small amounts, and from there, hopefully some go to the trial, and from there, some will go to the full.
Sort of a TLDR on our proposal. What we're asking for is a budget of $150,000 to fund between 15 and 30 micro grants over the course of 3 to 6 months. And at the end of that, we want to have an intensive retrospective period with the community to determine like what went right, what went wrong, things to double down on, and more. I think the idea overall is to build a better system over time with the community.
If somebody has an idea that maybe doesn't even want to be a working group, but they think, hey, this is like an opportunistic place where I can add some value to the Jupiter ecosystem by doing this kind of short-lived thing.
Yeah, so I think if anybody's curious about this process, we're going to do a full case study on them. But Wake and Sachs they basically did this entire process before it was even written, just by trying stuff and sort of reiterating and then approaching the things that they wanted to do differently than pretty much anybody else had. So they already have achieved the two sort of prerequisite grants before moving to a trial, and that was just of their own volition. And so I think if you want to talk to those guys, like they've already gone through this entire process perfectly. They've shown the initiative, and I think the self-agency and the ability to have that sort of activation energy, like that's the rarest piece of all this, is just being able to be like, boom, I want to do this.